You're listening to the World's Team Podcast. It's not just America's team, Cowboys Nation. It's the world's team. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
How about them Cowboys?
What is up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the World's Team Podcast, brought to you by the Believe Network and sponsored by Cowboys Experience for the ultimate game day experience, stadium tours, all the above. Everything. Literally everything. Be sure to go to www.cowboysexperience.com and use the discount code WorldsTeam2025. I am your host, Paul Stewart, and I'm joined as always by Mr. Mike Poland, and we have a very special guest. You can find him on 105.3 The Fan. It's no other than the great and powerful Mr. Zach Wolchuk. How are we doing, bro?
Man, it's fantastic, dude. I'm absolutely brilliant. I couldn't be more excited to be hopping on with you guys. I've been a fan for a long time. It was great to be able to meet you guys for the Philadelphia game. What an amazing game it was. Now, here's the problem, though. You're going to have to make sure you get out to Jerry World for every home game next year because you guys were 2-0. As soon as you left, all hell broke loose. So we need the good mojo back.
Well, I have been trying to get my US visa to try and move over to Texas and stuff like that, but so far no success. So if Jerry is looking to hire, I'm there.
Yeah. We need him too.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic event. Like, not just the Eagles game, but the Kansas game as well. Like, me and Mike, we were in very high spirits. We brought the UK Cowboys fans over, and Mike, just at the top of my head, we had 19 of us.
Yes,
traveling.
yeah,
19.
19.
Yeah. So it was unreal. So, but yeah, it was great to see you, dude. Again,
and not only that, Zach and Brian saved my ass out there.
That's right.
Oh yeah, they didn't want you to bring that hat in. That was in the flash. I don't know what was going on. I mean, we needed. They should have known who you were, and they should have just said, "Hey, we'll escort you in. It's going to be all right. These guys, it's fine." But man, yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here with you, fellas.
We love having you here, mate.
Absolutely, man, and thank you for coming on, Chris. This is our 100th episode, so it's a big deal for us. And what a way to have yourself, Zach, the great and powerful.
Well, hey, congratulations on 100 episodes, boys.
Thank you, man. Thanks so much. So it's been a really fun start because I mean the whole purpose. Obviously, we do the UK fan podcast as well, but this one we want to try and like reach out to Cowboys Nation from all across the world, like from Germany to Italy, Brazil. Like we would like to try and get all voices heard and get their like voices and opinions and try and get them come onto the show and stuff like that. So that's what our main goal is with the World's Team essentially. But we're here to talk about our Dallas Cowboys. So let's dive straight into it. So
let's do it.
So it has been a rocky season, I guess. I mean, we're now obviously we're out at the playoffs and stuff like that. We're now in that limbo mode. Mm-hmm. But hit us with it, Si. What was your general assessment of Brian Schottenheimer in his first year?
Yeah, man, it's mixed emotions because I liked offensively. I feel so much better about where the team is now than when the team ended the season. And Brian Schottenheimer obviously is the head coach, but also your play caller. So his forte on the offensive side of the football, he's definitely left that better in year one than when he took the job over. So you got to see a lot more modern offensive schemes with tight condensed bunches, mesh patterns. I thought the running game, some of the stuff that Clayton Adams and Connor Riley were able to implement was fantastic, right? I think we still question some in-game moments. I think late in half, certain situations. There was a time the Cowboys were great. They were the best team in the league, scoring points in the final 2 minutes going in to half, and then, of course, at the end of games. I think that's kind of started to wane a little bit. It started off, your offense was slow out of the gates, and then you'd pick up steam. Then it was, at the end of the year, okay, now you can't score any touchdowns in the second half. You're settling for a bunch of field goals, right? So I think that under year one, we saw the clock management stuff. You saw strides to the offense, but the defense obviously was terrible. Now you're the head coach of the football team, so you can't just be totally forgiven for the defensive failures. I think some of the culture stuff, moving on from, getting Mozzie part of the trade for Quinnen Williams. I think moving on from Trayvon Diggs, sitting CD and George Pickens for a series. Some of this stuff with discipline, I liked. I think you have not seen that maybe since Bill Parcells was in Dallas when it came to some of that discipline. So that's needed, right? We talk about a country club atmosphere at the Star in Frisco. So you're trying to change that. My problem is, and Brad Sham, I think in the post-game show in the final game of the season, gave me a good answer on how do you see what culture is doing outside of wins and losses on the field? And it's just little things like that. The issue is you still have mental problems, right? You're taking bad penalties. You're penalized so much as a team. Is that something, and Brian Schottenheimer alluded to this in his presser, is that the star on the helmet, right? The Cowboys, it has not mattered who the head coach has been. They are always among the top 5 teams in the league when it comes to penalties. So I think there's definitely give and take here. I do think they need better personnel. I'm not going to blame Brian Schottenheimer for that, but overall, I gave him a B- year one because of the offense. But I think that hopefully he takes some of the things that he can learn from year one going into year 2. The big thing that I worry about is Shotty is so good when it comes to the media. We got to interview at training camp. He's an amazing person. He's easy to love, right? He's easy to fall in love with when you're in the same room with him. Does he kind of put you in a little like Jerry does? Like, ooh, a Fugazi, a Fugazi. But in reality, like how good, like it's still the guy that nobody wanted to interview for 15 years, whenever it was. It's still, there's got to be some red flags. And you were 7-9-1. You were 7-10 a year ago with a defense that allowed, granted, 50 less points, but was still one of the worst in Cowboys history. But also had Cooper Rush starting at quarterback the majority of the season. So you got to take all of that into account. I think the jury's still out. There were things to be positive. There were things to be critical and negative about. But B- is where I landed on Shotty.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same board as well. I think with all things considering, like the
Marshawn Neeland situation.
Yep, absolutely. Great point.
He dealt with that brilliantly, I think.
He did.
Even the whole organization did that great. Like really did a really nice service for like commemorating them, etc. And with everything going on, but I think with like Schottenheimer, like for me personally, it's the low expectation. Like we kind of going in like we weren't really expecting much. I mean, don't get me wrong. There should have been games that we should have won, and there should have been games that we should have lost on paper. Like, I mean, no one expected us to beat the Eagles when we were 21-0 to come back and win in 24-21. So, but the Arizona game, for example, that was a bad loss.
That was a bad loss.
Minnesota.
Yeah. So there is a bit of, but I think in the end all, be all, a B- is a really good, like, fair assessment, and I'm really interested to see what year 2 really brings ahead. But Mike, what about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go with like a straight B. Like he had the rug pulled away from him before the season started by the trade with Micah Parsons, which he was really the cornerstone of your defense. And you kind of saw, and I'm not sticking up for Eberflus, but he did. They got the rug pulled on essentially your best player, and they never really had a plan behind that. You could see that they tried to throw and just throw things together, basically just chucking anything at the wall to see what would stick. So like you got to add that to it. As I say, Marshawn Neeland, hitting that level of controversy or issue is tough, and he did deal with it. And they came out that next week. After it came out strong. So I'll give him a straight B on what he did. And like you say, offensively, everything was flowing. As the season wore on, it's like he kind of like as if they were in playoff mode. So he was going deep into his playbook and running out of ideas. Red zone became an issue big time. And that's really where they needed to start scoring in order to make games a bit closer. And they kind of like failed at it a bit. But I mean, like you think Dak had his best season. Yeah. It was a wild season for him. You look at guys like C.D. Pickens came out of the Javonte. What a smart move that was. I think injuries played a part too, and that kind of struggled. And what you saw is a team that's top heavy.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy the secondary, the situation they've landed in, because it's tough. I know, we will locally, we criticize the Cowboys for waiting on contracts. They've been bitten on ones that they've gotten ahead of now. Bland, they got done. And unfortunately, Bland has been hurt, and he didn't look like the same guy. Diggs, they got done. Diggs gets hurt twice.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they move on there. So, you thought drafting, or I think from a Cowboys perspective, you just drafted Savone Revel in the third round.
Yeah.
You've got Diggs and Bland under contract. We're good at corner. Now you're going into the offseason, not even a full year later. And that's a position you're totally kind of looking, do I need to overhaul?
Yeah,
I don't know what the future of Bland is. I'm hoping Revel's good, but they threw him into the deep end, without any help. So there's so many things that I agree with you. They did well. The injuries were a factor. The thing is now they've got to try and fill the defense and improve that. You said you don't want to make excuses for Eberflus. I don't either. But my whole thing throughout the year was, and Eberflus clearly was not a good fit.
Yeah.
But the personnel's poor. They're not good enough on the defensive side of the football. And there's only so much as a defensive coach that you can do. There were times he called the right play. And, whether it's Shamar James or it's Kenneth Murray and it's a run blitz and they just totally miss or they jump the wrong gap. There were times where it wasn't all on the coaching. The players on the field have to get it done.
Yeah.
And one, they didn't. And two, I think a lot of it is, unfortunately, they haven't drafted well on that side of the ball since 2020. And those, I think they've got 8 players left on the team, maybe, or 7 now, with Micah and Diggs not being here, that they've drafted since 2020. And when you're a draft and develop team and you don't hit, well, now this is where you are. Your talent depleted on that side of the football. So offensively, it's not like you can neglect it. They've got things to figure out. But the injuries, but also lack of talent on the defensive side of the football really hurt them.
Yeah. I said this a few weeks ago. I was like, I'm not going to defend Eberflus, but lo and behold, what do you expect on that for a defense? You don't have, like, who's your star? Who's the star of the defense? Generally, who are your blue chip players on the defense? And you look at it, you go, there aren't any. And it's like, lo and behold, it turns out that you need good players on defense to have a good defense. And they generally did have one, and they decided to do whatever they did. And now that's how you end up in the mess that you're in. Like with Siobhan Revel, I'm with you. I hope it does. My concern with Revel is, like the cornerback position. It's not just athleticism. It's confidence. It's swagger. And I just worry with a rookie, with what you did, like you say, threw in the deep end. Started off okay. As the season got on with the ACL injury that he's trying to come back from, he's obviously still struggling. He didn't have any real training camp or preseason training. He was just thrown straight into it. Right. He's got to do all of that work with practically zero pass rusher up front. So that means his defensive backs have got more work to do. So with Revel, I worry, is he going into 2026 thinking, am I not really as good as I thought? Or is this level too high for me from East Carolina? I just worry about the confidence level and that general frame of mind that he'd be going into in 2026.
It's totally a fair concern, because I think you saw it happen with Kalen Carson.
Yeah.
Kalen Carson was a player that I loved his tape coming out of school. He was nicknamed Seatbelt for a reason.
Yeah.
He was one of these guys that was super sticky in coverage. Revel, I think, getting to know, and we got to visit with his dad in training camp, I think he's going to be okay. I think the brace was giving him a lot of issues. It was uncomfortable. He didn't like playing in the brace. Having a full off season, actually getting a training camp, which he didn't have, I think that he'll be able to build up mentally it to be in a good space. because like you didn't see him. I mean, I guess you did see him get cooked a little bit. It just wasn't quite to the scale of Kalen Carson. Like, man, if you go back to Carson's rookie year, that Baltimore game, he misses a huge tackle, and then they throw like an 80-yard bomb on him, and it's like, oh no, and this poor kid gets hurt. Now he's out for the year. So I think Revel will be okay, but he's got to prove it. You know, it's a big jump. And while I thought he was the best corner in that draft, and to get him in the third round was a steal.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't always translate. It doesn't always work, but I'm still confident. I think he'll be okay. I think mentally it's totally a fair concern. I'm being optimistic, but just knowing what I know about him, he'll be all right.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. I mean, speaking about like some players and stuff, we were kind of talking about like the assessment of Schottenheimer, where we're grading the offense and defense. Is there any players that stand out offensively and defensively that kind of really stood out for you this year?
Javonte Williams was sensational. He really was. I mean, Mike, you alluded to him earlier, and no one thought. I mean, I didn't know what you were going to get out of Javonte Williams. Are you kidding me? But it's the pass protection too. I mean, he was so good in pass protection, but just getting dirty yards. You saw in the Washington game, fourth down, he stopped for a loss of 2, second, third effort, first down. You know, he's a guy that I'd really love to see. I think the red zone stuff, to remedy that, you've got to be able to run the football. When the field constricts like that, you've got to be able to line up and run the football. You look at the Rams playing right now. Kyron Williams is a guy that has a nose for the end zone. The Broncos. And also it's using Dak's legs a little bit. I mean, some of my favorite touchdowns are Dak downs, where he's taking a ball, QB sneak, QB draw, let's do this thing, and he's flexing on the defense. That's fun. I mean, that's some fun stuff right there when Dak's going to it. So, you know, I thought Williams was awesome.
I know who you're going to go for, Paul. I know the name you're going for.
What, in offense or defense?
On offense. I already know the name.
Brian Flournoy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brian Flournoy, baby.
I think Flournoy took the biggest leap in his career in the NFL for sure. Like, he really, like, to me, he's overproceeded Jalen Tolbert, Mingo, name it. Like, to me, I think he's like, here's my name. I'm here now. Like, give me more opportunities so I can ball out, pretty much.
Yeah, nice. My guy is going to be Tyler Bucker, but I'm always going to go with a rookie. But I just love how we've gone from Zach Martin. I mean, I'm not saying Tyler Bucker, Zach Martin, but
he integrated so well.
Yeah,
so
it was just a perfect transition. And you look at the right guard position is now just solidified for however long he's played. Yeah. So we go for that length of time, just with a perfect right guard spot.
Hey, Paul, did Ryan Flournoy, because I'm a big Flournoy fan as well. I thought they should have traded Tolbert during training camp. You know, I mean, look, Tolbert was going to be a free agent. I've never thought JT was that great, but at least he had just had 7 touchdowns or whatever it was the year before. He's got some value for a team that could want a wide receiver. Flournoy looked like you could see it, and he's talented. Is he a guy that you'd move on from George Pickens? And you think Flournoy can be your wide receiver too?
Oh, you're throwing the question at me. I think if he was given the opportunity, he could easily step up. Like, just because he's coming from a small school, like, doesn't mean. I mean, Mike did a massive analysis on him, looking at his rack score. Like, his score was off the chain. He was like one of the best scored athletes coming out of like the draft that year he was getting drafted. So, and you could see, like, just because of the competition that he had at college doesn't materialize, but you saw what he could do, like, when he was given the opportunity. So, I mean, if we do decide to move away from Pickens, I mean, I would give him a shot. Why not?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I like they're miles apart, Pickens and Flournoy, obviously, but like, if he was in a pinch, like, say for argument's sake last season and Pickens has to go out. Well, we did see it briefly. And you put Flournoy in, there's obviously a drop-off, but the drop-off isn't where it's a complete disaster, where you're like, oh no, we're back to like post-injury Michael Gallup wide receiver 2 sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, from And this is with the interest when we were looking at the preseason games. Like there was some other wide receivers. I thought, well, God, this guy could even overtake Tolbert, because I remember from training camp, and Zach, you can probably speak for this more than anyone. Like I kind of got the sense that like Mingo had a good training camp before he got injured.
He wasn't.
Ryan Flournoy was phenomenal.
He was everywhere.
It just seemed like Jalen Tolbert just seemed to, and I don't want to feel like I'm picking on him, even though we have been in some way all through the season.
No
But
pun intended.
yeah, but it just kind of feels like, yeah, I just don't see how Tolbert can make the 50-man roster, and we were shocked that he was
I
added.
still don't get it. I still don't get adding Tolbert.
Yeah, you guys, you're 100% right. I didn't understand it either. I'm like, guys, what are we doing? What are we doing with Jalen? Like, it was Trayshawn Holden was another guy.
Yes, exactly. Like,
right?
Coming up, yeah,
He was the fan favorite coming out of camp. Everyone's like, you got to get Holden on the roster. Now, the good thing is he's been on the practice squad, and they'll be able to have him for next year. But to me, it's like just, and this is what bothers me about the Cowboys, can like project ahead, and they do, I guess, with their salary cap stuff to an extent. Yeah. But like, have a plan. What's your plan? Look ahead that, okay, I've got Ryan Flournoy who's emerging. You traded a 4th-round pick for Mingo. So even if he stinks, which honestly, boys, I think he does, you've got to try and at least see what you got in him. Trade Tolbert. Now, Dak was a big Tolbert fan. I was told don't make too much of that. I think he realized that Ryan Flournoy also, other receivers started to eclipse him on the roster in terms of talent and play level. So I think he developed trust for other guys. But I think a big reason why Tolbert's gotten so many chances is him and Dak do have a good relationship. Obviously, they spent a 3rd-round pick on him. They were very high on him. They thought about taking him in the 2nd round. But now he's going to go off in free agency and probably sign with somebody else, and I wish him the best of luck. But I never thought he was a great blocker. I thought he was super inconsistent. There'll be times in a game where he makes a wow play, and then he doesn't show up for the remainder of the game. Yeah. So, I definitely thought they should have gone a different way with that. I think you guys were spot on with how you felt about him.
Yeah. It just used to wind me up how on 3rd down, you've got Pickens and you've got Lamb. You've even got, you've got other options available to you. And they're trying to throw it. They're trying to force Tolbert to be that 3rd down guy that you go to. And lo and behold, the ball would bobble, the ball wouldn't get caught. You're just like, what are we doing? Yeah. Why are you trying to feed Tolbert when you've got these 2 other receivers you can throw to? Like, even throw it to Williams on a halfback screen if you want to. You know what I mean? Why are we going over here? I never understood.
Maddening.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But speaking of what else has been going crazy right now, obviously Matt Eberflus is out the door. And also there's been a lot of speculations, and we've seen people getting interviewed. But Zach, coming from, obviously you've been working with 105.3 The Fan, talking to Broadus, etc. You've got the more inside scoop. So who do you think is more likely to be the number 1 candidate as of this moment?
I do think it's Jim Leonhard. I still think Jim Leonhard is their top choice. Now they've got to wait until after Sunday when, Denver plays New England, regardless of if the Broncos win or lose, because you then get the gap week before the Super Bowl week. They'll be able to talk and have an in-person interview with Jim Leonhard. So I think that now he's got interest elsewhere. There's been rumors about the Giants. I don't think that he's Harbaugh's top choice with the Giants. I think it's Anthony Weaver and Zach Orr, whom he was with in Baltimore. And the Cowboys also did interview Zach Orr. He is a local guy from DeSoto, which is in the Metroplex, and then obviously played at North Texas, my alma mater, and then went on to have a tremendous, young, quick career. Unfortunately, he suffered a catastrophic injury to end it. But, that's where I think they're going to lean. Schotty's got the relationship with Jim Leonhard. They were together when Leonhard was a player with the Jets. Yeah. He's an up-and-coming coach. He was the interim head coach at Wisconsin. He wanted to get that head coaching job. When they decided to go to Luke Fickell, he said, I'm good. I'm not just going to stick around if I'm not the head coach. And since then, he's been on Sean Payton's staff in Denver as the assistant head coach and passing game coordinator. He's tremendous. And if you go to YouTube and just watch clinics of his, he checks off all the boxes that Schotty really wants, a guy that's going to teach. What's the why? Everybody learns differently. How do people process information? When it comes to what is he schematically, we'll find out. I do think he's a guy that is going to be more aggressive. You're going to have, more disguises on the back end in coverage. There's going to be a purpose and a reason of why they're going to do things. So I think Leonard's their main top choice. But I think Durante Jones, who they had an in-person visit with and is now getting asked to interview at every opening, it seems. The Giants requested to interview him. The Packers want to interview him. They also, of course, want to interview Christian Parker of the Eagles, whom the Cowboys are going to interview with tomorrow. Both of those guys, I think, are the next in line. Jonathan Gannon has support in the building, okay? Because you've got Clayton Adams, who worked with him. So Clayton Adams, was his offensive coordinator, and Gannon was the head coach. So I'm sure that there's an affinity there. To me, I think you're kind of getting Jonathan Gannon on the downturn of his coaching career right now. For 3 years, it didn't work in Arizona. His defenses weren't great. You can say, they were hurt. Okay. Well, part of being a great coach is like, can I at least try and make chicken salad out of chicken poo? You saw Dan Quinn do it, right?
Yeah.
They were having Marquise Bell in 2023 play linebacker, and they found a way to get it done. At some point, yes, not having the players is a fair excuse. But 3 years of injuries and not once could you find a way to make it look good? Yeah, I question. The Eagles wanted to run him out of town. When Eagles fans are like, go hire Jonathan Gannon, I don't want that guy. I'm going to be honest with you. And Mike Zimmer, who was with him for 4 years in Minnesota, apparently, not that he doesn't like him personally, but was like, you can go. I don't really, I think I want to move in a different direction on my staff as well. So to me, it's Jim Leonard. I think Durante Jones, the Vikings secondary coach, it has really impressed them. But Christian Parker is a guy you hear tremendous things about. Everywhere he's been, his players have excelled, and they've had all-pro years. So those are my three final names right now, but I think Leonard's at the top of the list.
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus, like, in terms of how the fan, like, it's just because we don't really know me personally, I don't really know too much about Jim Leonard. That, like, obviously you just kind of highlight, like, he's with the Broncos as the passing game coordinator, assistant head coach, but from what I've heard, like, he has got that same type of, like, personality, likes to be very engaged with the players and be more hands-on, and, like you said, like, break down film, like, to make it very, like, easy for players to digest and learn that way. So that to me is a checkbox, and that's pretty much an epiphany of what Schottenheimer's been like as well. Right. So if that's the case, then sign me up. So and plus, anything could be better after, like, losing 500 points in a Cowboys season, worst in history. So, but speaking about other coaches, there has been rumors, and this is just purely speculation, is that Aaron Whitecotton, our defensive line coach, could be reuniting with Robert Saleh in Tennessee. I mean, makes sense.
Obviously that you connect the dots. They were together in New York. Yep. So I get that. I'm sure that the only way that this could happen is if Robert Saleh hired Aaron Whitecotton to be his defensive coordinator, to my knowledge.
Yeah,
you
can't
have
to be a step up.
Right.
Yeah.
It can't be a linear move. He can't just go from the Cowboys to the Titans to be the D-line coach. He's under contract with Dallas. You can't do that.
Yeah.
But if he gets a promotion, which he did interview with the Cowboys to be their defensive coordinator, and he might be. He might end up doing this. Maybe Robert Saleh thinks enough of him, and I'm sure Saleh probably still calls the defense. So he'd be the defensive coordinator there in title, similar to what Brian Schottenheimer was with McCarthy, calling the plays on offense, right? So that could happen. If he really wants Whitecotton enough, he could take him to be the DC. I don't think it will. Aaron Whitecotton right now is supposed to be on the staff for the East-West Shrine Bowl, which is in Frisco, at the Cowboys facility. I think that Brian Schottenheimer, like, one of the things, no matter who they hire to be their defensive coordinator, part of it is they love Aaron Whitecotton in the building. And
I don't know why.
The stipulation, Brian feels the same way. Like, what'd you see on the defense? But he has a great relationship with Quinnen Williams. I do think you've seen Quinnen Williams be at his best with Coach Whitecotton. He's been able to tweak certain things in his stance in terms of get off and how he's able to get upfield. Williams is also just an awesome player in his own right. But yeah, I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I don't. Right now, when we're recording this as of today, I think Aaron Whitecotton is still going to be the defensive line coach for the Dallas Cowboys. But if indeed Saleh likes him enough and says, hey, come be my DC, that'd be the only way it could happen.
Yeah, it's very interesting times. We are actually in the really silly season of the NFL where you've got head coaches going left, right, and center, defensive coordinators going left, right, and center. So who knows how after the Super Bowl how the coaching situation is going to line up? Not just for the Cowboys, but even like when you look at the Giants right now. I mean, what a coup for them right now! I mean, it's crazy.
Well, Chargers have just hired Mike McDaniel.
Yeah,
did they as their offensive coordinator? Well,
literally just.
Wow, that's a great hire for Justin Herbert.
Big time.
Good. I like that move.
Yeah.
Very interesting. All right, so here's the wee fun part. Oh, well, I wouldn't say fun because we're not involved, but looking at other teams as the divisional round of the playoffs there.
Okay.
So what was your thoughts over the games that happened just at the weekend there?
I thought the Bills got screwed, boys. I did. This is going to become their Dez Bryant catch or no catch with Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
Now, am I a little biased? Do I love Brandon Cooks? Yeah, I do. Brandon Cooks was great to us. He really liked us a lot. He's
a nice guy too.
He's fantastic. He was going to do our players show. Things got in the way of that. He was like, do I want to do this first year with the team? What are people going to think about? He's just he thinks about everything. But I thought that he caught that ball with possession and was down by contact.
Ooh,
and
controversial.
Just because the DB rolls over the top, grabs the ball. Now, okay, worst case scenario to me, it's simultaneous possession. Both of them have the ball. Tie goes to the receiver. My entire life watching football and having played it briefly, tie goes to the receiver, right? So I didn't know how you could rule that an interception. They did, fine, whatever. But I was, I get Bills fans' gripes with that. Otherwise, man, the Rams were my preseason Super Bowl pick. I've been riding with the Rams. I've been surprised at defensively some of the struggles that they've had because a big reason why I picked them was their defensive line's outstanding. But Puka's been just an absolute animal out there. Yeah. Stafford's awesome. But Seattle, with our old buddy DeMarcus Lawrence, one of the most disrespected, underrated Cowboys players of the last decade.
Facts.
Cowboy fans, they wanted to just rip on him because he didn't put up his sack numbers. Like, stop it. It was what Tank did every down. You knew what you were getting from him. He's an all-around good player, and now he's able to flourish and go succeed with a badass coach and Mike McDonald, Nathan Dirty's over there. I'm sure you guys are big fans of what he's got going on.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good for them.
I mean, actually talking about Seattle, I'm really happy to see Tank really flourishing. I'm not bitter at all in that. Obviously, I'm gutted. Obviously,
I want him to have a ring.
Yeah.
So
I'm the exact same. But but in a separate way, I'm actually very intrigued of the resurgence of Sam Darnold. When you look at him, obviously he had his first couple of seasons with the Jets, didn't go well, went to Carolina, went even further down the hill, but he took that 1 year at San Francisco as a backup to Brock Purdy, learning under Shanahan, and when he went to the Vikings, that's when it all clicked. And you're seeing what he's been doing in Seattle, and it's actually quite unbelievable what he's been doing right now.
And it's nice to see the 49ers fail. I really enjoy. Yes. I like watching, especially you see the clip of their entrance walking in, and they got and they're all hyped, and they're tearing up fan pages, and then
just
they go
the worst.
2 field goals. Brock Purdy just puts up a stinker, 50%. Completion percentage, 140 yards, no touchdown. I'm like, yes.
On a wee separate note, it's been about the 49ers and Seahawks game. Did you see what the Seahawks fan went up to 49ers fan that says, like, how do you say yes in Spanish? And he was like, sí. And then she went, Hawks! Right after it.
Oh, well played.
Very, very good.
Well played.
I thought that was hilarious.
That was good. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and likes of the Texans right now.
Stroud.
What is going on with CJ Stroud?
Man, I know he just hasn't looked like the same guy since his rookie year. Now I got to go
Never
watch.
each year. If you go and watch his stats are getting worse.
It is
over the 3 years, and that includes touchdowns and interceptions. I looked at it, I was like, "Whoa!"
It's jarring. And last year it's Bobby Slowick. It's the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Granted, look, their offensive line is poor. I get it. We saw Joe Burrow take the Bengals to the Super Bowl with the worst offensive line in the history of football. Okay, if you've got it. And he's got weapons on offense. I get the running game's not great, but you got plenty of wide receivers. And Dalton Schultz is a solid tight end.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to do a lot because their defense is fantastic. They still had a chance to win that football game because their defense is so good. It's almost like, just don't screw it up, dude. You're going to be all right. But, yeah, Stroud's – I was iffy about him coming out of the draft. I didn't love him. And it was the inconsistency. I thought there were times where he could look brilliant. There were other times where it's like, where are you throwing the football? Exactly. And the Georgia game was awesome that he played in the playoff for Ohio State against an NFL caliber defense. And then he goes off and has an awesome rookie year. I think it's not like I'm trying to pat myself on the back. Like some of the issues that I saw at Ohio State, you're seeing now over the last 2 years. And it's like, okay, maybe it is the offensive coordinator. Maybe it is, let's go ahead and get him, some more help along the offensive line. But if I'm Houston, I'm very nervous about giving him a big contract. And this is going to be a big year for CJ Stroud because they have all the piecings of a team that's ready to go and make that run and could have played for a Super Bowl. But unfortunately, the quarterback turned the ball over way too much.
Yeah, they should have pulled him way sooner. I felt like once you got that third interception, I was like, this is not a game for Stroud. Just pull him. Just do it because it'll do you a favor. Well, it would have been better than what Stroud was putting out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, speaking about also with the playoffs and stuff like that, we've now got the conference championships coming up. So the question is, what is your predictions for that, and who are your two teams for the Super Bowl?
I'm going to stick with the Rams. All right, just because I've rode them since day one. I'm going to keep going with this. Their games against Seattle have been incredible. They've been so much fun. They should have beaten Seattle in Seattle a month ago or whenever it was. That game was absolutely bananas. They're up considerably, and then you get the Rashid Shaheed punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Tilted the whole game. Yeah. I think the Rams get revenge. I think they find a way to get it done. I think this will be, to your Sam Darnold point, maybe this is finally the moment where the other shoe drops. And it's not even that I don't think he's going to play well. It's just I think Stafford's going to make more plays, and the Rams will find a way to get it done. If Bo Nix was playing on the other side,
that's massive.
I would be taking Denver in this game. I would be going Broncos-Rams. The fact that he's not, and I don't know what to expect for Jarrett Stidham. I think Sean Payton's phenomenal, and he's going to have him ready to go. But you saw, the touchdown pass Bo Nix made, getting hit, delivers a strike to Marvin Mims in the corner of the end zone. That was a big boy throw. And, I was, for maybe being right about CJ Stroud, I've been wrong about Bo Nix. I thought Bo Nix was going to be bad. The fit with Sean Payton's been remarkable. And he's made some great throws. So I'm going to lean, gosh, why am I picking both road teams? That's so stupid. There's no way I'm going to be right about this. But I'm going to go Rams Patriots, and I'd go Rams Broncos if I knew what was going to happen with Stidham. I don't. So I'm just going to rock with Drake May to make it happen.
For me, I'm going to stick to what I originally did for the start of the season. So in terms of the AFC, I actually had the Broncos as dark horses.
Well done.
And if there's one coach that can basically, politely saying, can polish a turd in the nicest way possible, that is Sean Payton. He can make stuff happen. So I think he could do it. And obviously, my other one, I would like to. It's basically going to be a repeat of the 2014 Super Bowl, I hope. Yeah. I love to see Tank get his flowers, be in the big stage, And it's actually kind of nice to see like Sam Darnold actually getting the recognition of what the work he's put in the past 2-3 seasons.
It's difficult in the AFC. Like you say, the injuries are there, but also both the Broncos and the Patriots have only lost both of them have only lost one game since week 4.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Can you imagine a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold versus Jarrett Stidham?
I know.
That's our matchup.
What was the Super Bowl back in the 90s? Was it not the Buccaneers and the Colts or something? Or I can't remember.
We had Bucks Raiders with was that with Brian Johnson versus Rich Gannon? Is that what you're thinking?
I think so, but it was like...
Oh, Trent Dilfer and Kerry
Trent
Collins.
Dilfer, that's the one. It was Trent Dilfer.
Ravens Giants, yeah.
That's the link from Indianapolis I was thinking of, because I remember is the Mel Kiper video back.
Yeah. Who the hell was Mel Kiper? Yeah.
yeah.
But on to a really fun part, and we're almost at the end, unfortunately. But is there any players in free agency and in the draft that really stand out to you that might be a really good fit for the Cowboys?
I would absolutely love draft-wise. Caleb Downs, the safety out of Ohio State, is my favorite player, one of my favorite players I've ever studied. He's phenomenal. I don't care what anybody has to say that's bad about him. They're wrong. They're incorrect, and we can fight about it.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love him to death. I think he can cover. I think he can play some nickel for you. I think he's got range. He's a leader. You talk about the culture, the attitude. Walks onto campus there at Tuscaloosa, Alabama, which is a big dog program with a lot of other players that ended up going on to have NFL success, leads the team in tackles, was immediately the leader of that defense. Year 2, transfers to Columbus, Ohio, goes and wins a national championship on a defense that had players that you're now seeing on Sunday. This year, still the best player on the defense. It's going to have several other first-round picks in Arvell Reese and McDonald, their defensive tackle, and Noah Egbenos in their corner. He's a star. He really, really is, and he should be playing for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know. There's no way he should make it to 12. The only reason why he could is because it's a safety, and teams are like, I'm not going to take a safety that high. But watch out for Washington. Watch out for Kansas City. They might snipe him from you. But I love him. He's my guy.
I guess the only thing is knowing what the Cowboys' history is like. We don't really hardly ever draft safeties, really.
You're right. You're right.
But hopefully it may be a first. Hopefully.
We can pray. We can absolutely pray. I don't know how aggressive they'll be in free agency. Leo Chenal, the linebacker from Kansas City, is intriguing to me. I wouldn't mind Demario Davis, the linebacker from New Orleans. He's a veteran player, and that's a stopgap for you. But I don't mind looking to try and add a linebacker in free agency. You could take Sonny Styles, but that's a spot I wouldn't mind doing. Devin Lloyd's another guy. There's some linebackers that I like that could be a good fit.
Yeah. I mean, I think linebacker is definitely a big. Let's be honest. So we've got edge, we've got linebacker, and we've got our corners. It's like the primarily safety. Like, pick your poison. The thing which was our biggest weakness, which was defensive tackles, now became our biggest strength.
I know, it's crazy.
It's crazy to think that, but
it's deep now.
But I'm actually curious to know, like, because this is like. Me and Mike always tend to have pet cats when it comes to the draft and stuff like that. And one of my pet cats is not going to be a day 1 guy. He might be a late day 2 guy, and that's Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech.
Okay.
Oh, Paul.
Yes.
My guy. Bless you. You're right. Jacob Rodriguez, I think, is the second best linebacker in the draft, Paul. Jacob Rodriguez is a stud. Now, I'm married into a Texas Tech family. My brother-in-law, Ben Golan, writes for Red Raider Sports. I've been able to get a lot of info on Texas Tech. A lot of the things I said about Caleb Downs, Jacob Rodriguez fits that too. Leader he's not going to blow you away with athleticism, and he's shorter, right? It's 6'1". All he is in the right spot, always around the ball, makes the right play. There's times, sure, will he struggle to get off a block here and there? I think for the most part, he's pretty good at avoiding the trash and finding a way to disengage, but he can cover. He's a good zone player. He can blitz. He'll get after the quarterback. I love Jacob Rodriguez. I don't know how the Cowboys will feel about him, but I am with you 100%. If there's any way to maybe slide back from 20, can you pick up an extra pick on day 2? Oh, we would be having a party if Jacob Rodriguez was the pick.
Oh, I would be screaming to the heavens if that was the case, because I think he would be a great fit. Mike, who do you have as your pet cat this year?
Well,
Wow.
we did say Caleb Downs. He's like
Yeah.
my number
Yeah.
one on my board. I love Caleb Downs, but I do quite like if you were in a pinch and you traded down in the first, which I think they will do at pick 20, Anthony
Mhm.
Hill Jr., linebacker from Texas.
Okay. Yeah. Anthony Hill Jr. So I got to call some of his high school career at Denton Ryan. Super athletic guy.
Yeah, very.
Really. I mean, he's a dude that is a tremendous blitzer. Texas actually fired their defensive coordinator and brought back Will Muschamp. I think a lot of it is how the lack of use of Anthony Hill. Now, he was hurt this past year. For those that haven't watched him, you need to go back and watch his tape from 2024. He's all over the field. Phenomenal. All over the field. That Peach Bowl victory over Arizona State, he's brilliant. But he's a true Mike linebacker. I'm with you. And him and Overshone, they've got a history together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't really think of that point. See, actually, I take it back. I was thinking that all along.
You were. I knew you were.
Yeah. I've just connected dots.
Oh, well, I think it's now time for your segment now, Mike. So what Mike likes to do here, we always do like a would you rather question. So it could like you need to answer either A or B or whatever how Mike questions it, but it's to put you in a little bit of a predicament. So without further ado, Mike, hit me with this week's would you rather.
All right, we're going pick 12 in the draft. You've got these two guys on the board, and you can pick either one: David Bailey or Jeremiah Love.
I do love Jeremiah Love. I think Jeremiah Love could be a Jahmyr Gibbs-esque player.
Oh, yes. And I'm thinking get the next guy behind Javonte Williams.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's probably going to end up starting for you. But in this year, I'm going to go David Bailey out of Texas Tech.
Nice.
You got to get a pass rusher. And I think maybe the best pure edge in terms of getting after the quarterback is David Bailey. I do love Reuben Bain Jr. from Miami.
Reuben Bain's lovely.
Phenomenal. And he's a better all-around player than what Bailey is because he's a better run defender than what Bailey is.
Yes.
But Bailey has, the ability to ruin your day, screaming off the edge, doesn't take a lot of wasted steps, has a really narrow path to the quarterback. I do think he's got good upper body strength. He's more of a waist bender than a knee bender. Not the guy that's going to be able to totally get you a real good dip, but I like the hand fighting he plays with, and the production speaks for itself. So between those two, I would take David Bailey out of Tech, but both really good players.
I love that answer. Yeah, I would have to go with David Bailey as well because it's just purely more of a priority in terms of what we need. Like if we can come up with a deal to kind of keep Javonte Williams here for a longer term, then great. Because I would like to keep that continuing going forward. But yeah, edge rush is a definite need. Obviously, with the loss of Bashar Newland, we're down numbers as well. And obviously, with the urgency of our pass rush, it's not been the greatest this year, putting pressure on the quarterbacks. I think edge is definitely right up there as a top priority. All right. And finally, it's time for the start, set, or cut, Mike, for your quick fire questions.
Difficult. It's just very quick answer, and then we can move on because we're going over time. Yeah, but
I know, I'm sorry.
No. It's our fault. But hypothetical, start, sit, cut, and your three options are Clowney, Fowler, and Izaraku.
Okay, I'm going to start Izaraku. He's your second round pick. I still like Easy. I think that he's still arrows pointing up. I'm going to sit Clowney, and I'm going to cut Fowler. And Fowler's one of these guys that's an every other year player. So
that's right.
Maybe, this might be the year that Fowler gets back to having double-digit sacks, and he was really hurt last year. But I think what you're going to get from Clowney. He's very consistent, going to play well against the run. And he did, he stacked up sacks at the end there with 3 in the final game, but he'll get you 5 to 8 sacks a year. I think Izaraku still has 8 to 10 sack a year potential and is also still very good against the run. I think he's going to take a big step forward year 2. So start Easy. I'll sit Clowney. I'll cut Fowler.
Yep, I can't argue. I totally agree with that assessment. Yeah, I'm on board with the exact same there.
And we're on an even year, as you say, with Fowler, and you're going to cut him.
I know, I am. I'm going to say bye-bye. Go do it for go back to Washington. You can reunite with DQ again.
No, get him away from the NFC East at this moment.
That's fine.
Yeah, but yes, that is the end of this episode. But Zach, we just want to thank you so much for coming on, and it's an absolute honor to have you on here for our 100th episode. It means an absolute lot to us. And before we do go, please let everyone know where everyone can find you on social media.
Well, you can follow me at Zach Wolchuk on Twitter, on TikTok as well, trying to grow the TikTok a little bit.
Nice.
Instagram.
It's kicking off so well, by the way. I love the post-match discussions with you and Broadus.
Thank you. I'm glad that you do. And then Zach Wolchuk on Instagram, ZACHWOLCHUK, G-Bag Nation 105.3 The Fan. And then I'm with Brian Broadus, Aisha Morrison, Crown Global Media on the Stack. So fantastic. And fellas, I love what you're doing. My grandmother was from Southport, England, immigrated to South Africa. My parents are also from South Africa. My grandfather was a big rugby fan, went to his first game at the Cotton Bowl, watched Texas and Georgia play, fell in love in the late 80s with the Cowboys, and raised me as a Cowboy fan. So as the firstborn American in my family, of a mosh posh from around the world, what you guys are doing is incredible. I love it, guys. I really, really do. And thank you so much. It's been an honor.
We just one thing though, because I know you wanted to do it. Do you want to do an English accent before we go, or British accent?
Whichever you guys prefer. I mean, it's kind of.
I know you were worried about doing it, but we're saying you can do it. It's okay.
Okay. What should I say?
Anything you want. The door's open.
Fellas, this has been an absolute blast. I've enjoyed every single minute of it. All right. Thank you so much. Cheers. I love you, mate. And hopefully we can do this again soon, lads.
Well, there you have it. Zach Wolchuk just became James Corden there. My God.
Let's go.
Oh, I love it, man. Brilliant. Oh, but if you ever take the stride to ever come over across the pond, if you ever in Scotland, I've got you covered, my friend.
Yeah. Awesome. I look forward to it, man. I definitely will. That is on the bucket list. We'll make it happen.
But I will be over for the World Cup, by the way. Just to let you know.
Oh, perfect. Well, we'll have to get together, my friend. Just let me know.
Yep. So yeah, I'm over in Miami for the Scotland and Brazil game. Then I'm coming over at Houston for a weekend. Then I'm in Dallas for like 5-6 days. So we'll definitely link up, dude. But yes, folks, that is the end of this episode. Be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, follow us all on social media. Be sure to follow Zach Wolchuk on his social media as well. Follow 105.3 The Fan. And like as always here on the World's Team, it's not just America's team, it is the World's Team. We'll see you guys next time.
That's a wrap on the World's Team Podcast. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, Cowboys Nation. This ain't just America's team, it's your team. Touchdown! It's the World's Team, only on Believe, where real fans live.
How about them Cowboys?